Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. I am doing well myself. I'm going to do something fun and different today. I have an illustration I did some time ago. And I'm going to take the layers of this illustration and I'm going to kind of separate them, mess around with them, almost make it look like it's in some kind of third-dimensional space. So I'll explain the process as I go along. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get to it, and I hope you have fun watching it. Alright, let's go. So here's the illustration of a robotic cat that I put together. I used Procreate on my iPad to create this. So there is the color process there as I color all the different body parts of this character on different layers. Okay, so I do some toning, I do some highlights just to give the character some dimension and some definition, and with a some kind of sense of lighting there, and before moving on to the next step. So that's the illustration. I shared this on my Instagram some time ago, and so there you go. That's the character. It's a little robotic cat with glowing eyes and the whole thing there. Now I'm going to move into Photoshop, where I import the illustration from Procreate into Photoshop, and I take all the different layers and groups of every body part that's in there, and I kind of merge all the layers together as one layer. So rather than having groups of folders in there, or groups of layers, I just kind of flatten them into one layer so that each body part can move individually, and every background element is can be moved individually as well. Now I'm going to take the Photoshop file and bring it into After Effects, which is an animation program, a sophisticated animation program. And I'm going to now open up the cat group, and I'm going to take all the little limbs and I'm going to adjust little pivotal points to make sure that the body parts can rotate and scale from the right pivotal point. So that way I'm able to rotate the tail, I'm able to rotate the head. I'm going to give myself enough timing here to time to animate the cat. And I'm going to wag its tail, I'm going to rotate the head, and I'm going to mess around with the jaw here so that it moves like a robotic cat would, or as I think a robotic cat would actually move. I animate the lighting of the eyes so that they're kind of flickering a bit. There I am animating the position of the head. I'll eventually animate the jaw and the rotation of the head here. So you kind of have to think about how, if this was a real robotic cat, how would it move, and you have to think of those movements here, and that's kind of what I'm messing around with here. All those little diamond shaped things you see down there at the bottom are called keyframes. That is how you control. They're basically little indicators of how you're controlling the animation and how it moves through time and space there. So you have to think of all the little timings. I have about 30 seconds in this composition, and so within those 30 seconds I'm adding keyframes to adjust the animation of this robotic cat. It's kind of fun to put this together because you get to basically bring it to life, and you get to see the you decide basically how this thing is gonna move. So there I am playing around with some more keyframes. Now I'm gonna move the body and the tail. I want to make sure that the body reacts to the movement of the head, and the tail reacts to the movement of the body and the head. So certain things move one direction, certain things move another direction. So those are the little things you have to think about. All those little secondary animations that would work, cohesively with the main action here. The cat's just gonna meow, viciously, I guess, and then that's the body will move a certain way, and the head and the jaw will move a certain way, and the tail will move a certain way. That's what you see here. So this is fun. This is a little fun process. before putting the character into a background there. And I'm just looping the animation so it plays twice. Now also in After Effects, I'm going to take the background pieces and I'm going to adjust it so it's in somewhat of a third-dimensional world, so that if I move a camera through this space, it'll have a kind of a third-dimensional effect. Not that anything in here is 3D per se, but everything is two-dimensional, so 2D. But I can pull things apart and move them in a third-dimensional space to give it that illusion. That's what I see here. That's what you see me doing here. I push the background towards the back of the robotic cat. I'm gonna take that shadow and place it underneath the character's position there, and I'm gonna make it look like it's casting a shadow on the ground, even though it's kind of sort of floating in the air. But this shadow will make it look like it's touching some kind of surface. And then I carefully make sure that these, the shadow and the cat are in the same place here. I'm taking those flares of light and moving them in the foreground. So there's like rays of light in the foreground, and you'll see those reacting in the third-dimensional space when I move a camera in this space. A couple of adjustments here on the cat, it looks like, and then I'm gonna make sure that the timing here is also 30 seconds, so we can see all of the animation of the cat. There I'm adjusting the shadow a little bit more. I'm gonna blur it so that it's a blurry shadow. It's not a hard shadow like it was earlier. So I'm just there playing around with the main features or exposure of the shadow, as you see there. And there we go. Now we move on to the final step, and that is adding a camera to the space here. I'm gonna add a camera. I'm gonna basically animate the camera as the cat already moves on its own. I'm just gonna now move a camera across the stage here, and just move it sideways, move it towards the character, and then away from the character. And you'll see that because everything's been pulled apart in a third-dimensional space, there are things in there that are giving you a third-dimensional feel. Okay, and that's what's happening there. So there you go. It's a fun little experiment. After this, you basically take the whole composition and you do something called a render, which is converting this whole project into a final movie rendition, and that's what you see here. This is the final product of this illustration that has been transformed into a third-dimensional composition. So that's basically it. I really hope you enjoyed it. Come alive and come together here. Well, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed the process, and maybe I'll do some more in the future. We'll see, but I really hope you enjoyed this one. So until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and see you soon.